Hey, everybody, welcome to an impromptu episode 33 of Pro Wrestling Simulated's The 500. If this is your first time joining us, well, there's a lot to get into. But basically, what The 500 is, my co-host Mike San Gregorio and I have taken Pro Wrestling Illustrated's PWI 500, which is the 500 best wrestlers in the world, a list they do each and every year. And we have turned it into a tournament bracket, which we have been simulating using the incredible game, the incredibly customizable, awesome game, Fire Pro Wrestling World. Sorry, I'm getting set up here. Like I said, this is a pretty impromptu stream. We usually do these Sunday mornings. We didn't do one last week because I was out of town and I expected to be gone longer today, so I wasn't planning on doing an episode tonight. But you know what? I'm home early and it just felt fun. It felt like I missed you guys, and it felt like I really wanted to watch some simulated wrestling action here. So as with most episodes, we've got 11 matches tonight. This episode will mark the 3/4 mark of the second round, which will mean we have narrowed the initial list of 500. We'll be down to 160 after this show. We've got some huge stars, including the number 10 overall seed Rich Swann, making his debut in PWS after having had a first round bye. We've got Rey Mysterio. We've got Switchblade Jay White. We've got the new TNT champion Wardlow. We got all kinds of great stuff coming up. Representatives from several promotions: WWE, AEW, New Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah, AAA, 01, Impact, Glate, just wrestlers, and of course all over the independent scene as well. Should be a fun match. I just need to finish adding the wrestlers to it. If you want to see how the sausage is made, here's an option. Here's a chance for that. Don't usually do this, but just so you can see that I am working on this. Have you seen it? 1 second. Yeah. Why is that not working for me? There we go. Add to stream. Okay. That's a weird layout. Let's do it this way. So I gotta go through and add the wrestlers. I'll go full screen here in a second with the actual match. But yeah, always make sure that we're on level 10 so we get the highest quality match. Run-ins are turned off. Criticals are turned off. We want pinfalls, we want submissions, or on very rare occasions, we will take a count out. Not my favorite, but it has happened a couple times. The second round has been taking place at the SCS Stadium. This match is going to be officiated by... I don't read Japanese, but I think that one's Atsushi Ishiguro. Let me double check that. I do have a translated list in an Excel doc. Ishiguro should be the one after Natsuki Taiyo is. Okay. So there's the parameters for that first match. And now we add the participants. We are going to start it off with the face of NXT 2.0, Grayson Waller. As you can tell, I have spent a lot of time getting these rosters as close to accurate as I can. Okay. So what do you say we head to the ring for our opener, huh? So, in our opener, the number 439 seed in our tournament, Grayson Waller, pulled off a pretty massive upset back in episode 14 when he beat the number 74 seed in the tournament, Wyndham Rotunda, using his Darkness Falls finisher. WWE overall in the tournament, 51-37, which is the best record among promotions with at least 30 matches. Waller, 6'3", 224 from Sydney in New South Wales, Australia. would just joined the WWE roster right at the very end of the evaluation period, which, as we've been talking about on Twitter lately, just ended for this year. So this is the 2021 list we're basing this off of. And last year, it was July 2020 to June 2021. Waller debuted in WWE on 205 Live in like May. Whoops. Nope, that's Santa Claus. Okay, that's not a thing I thought I was going to have to... What? I'll be totally honest with you folks. I didn't know I had downloaded Santa Claus. Hey, Zach, how are you tonight? I totally forgot that I had... Is this one, Ishiguro? I'm going to have to look this up on Fire Pro. Good. Thanks for joining us at a unusual time tonight. We usually do these in the morning, but in case you missed it at the top, I just got back from a trip earlier than expected, so I decided, what the heck, let's just go ahead and do it. I need to find my subscribed items, filter my referees. So which one of you at Shiguro? Okay, that's the right one. Well, now I know what the name Santa Claus looks like in kanji. Okay, so I'm going to skip over the intros because we've already seen them once. Already talked about Grayson Waller a little bit. Atsushi Kotoge from Pro Wrestling Noah is from Kaizuka in Osaka, Japan. He made his debut on the PWI 500 back in 2014 at number 199. This year, he was down to 330, which is actually his lowest ever rank on the list. He beat Volador Jr. back in episode 14 with a kill switch to get to this point. Pro Wrestling Noah is 8-5 in the tournament thus far, which is the third best record among promotions with at least 10 matches. Which wrestler? Sorry, I had my ring light in an awkward position here. Which wrestler would you love to do a sit-down interview with? Ooh, are we talking a shoot or in character? For a shoot, man, I would love to hear. And actually, you know what? It might actually be the same answer for both. Now that I think about it, I would love to sit down and pick Jon Moxley's brain. That guy fascinates me. He has such an interesting story. I would just love to hear, his thoughts on the business, his thoughts on previous feuds, his thoughts on, his influence over, a generation of not just like brawlers, but the impact he's had in AEW. He's basically been their MVP since the start in terms of, oh, hey, we're in a pandemic. We need somebody to step up. And Mox was that guy. And he did the same again with Punk's injury. Tanahashi. Yeah, if language barrier was removed, Tanahashi would be a great choice. Yeah, I guess I didn't even think about non-English speakers. Because another guy I would love to hear some stories from is El Santo. I think, I speak a little Spanish, but not enough to conduct a full-on interview. But I think El Santo would have some fantastic stories. Yeah, Yuta's a good choice, too. Yuta's an interesting story. I've been impressed with him, ever since he started showing up on Dark. Oh, by God, stunner there from Waller into a triangle choke. Waller pulling out all the WWE Legends moves there. But yeah, Yuta, I only fairly recently went back and watched a bunch of his indie matches. I'm glad that he's finally getting the focus in AEW that he kind of wasn't at first, because, the guy can go. I'm hoping kind of on that same front, and it looks like they might be going that way since they're involving him in Ring of Honor stuff. Lee Moriarty is another guy in the Yuta vein who huge on the indies and has basically just been kind of a good hand in AEW until Yuta's recent push with Blackpool. Pulled into doing a duet song from karaoke. What song would I be singing? Ooh. Huh. If I had any skill as a singer, I would probably want to do like the Danhausen. Danhausen would be a good out of character interview. Actually, my first real exposure to him, I'd heard of him, but my first real exposure to him was he was a guest on one of Conan O'Brien's Conan O'Brien Needs a Fan interviews that he does occasionally on his podcast, where they'll just have a fan call in and he talks to him. And so Danhausen was basically telling Conan that, my character is basically just, what if Conan O'Brien was possessed by a demon and became a wrestler? It's like, and so he was half in character, half out, mostly out. And he's a fascinating guy. Song would I sing? If I had any skill, I would probably do the harmony parts on a Beatles song. But I don't, so it'd have to be something. Let's see. It would depend on who I was up there with, but probably something like. See, I start that sentence hoping that I'll come up with an answer before I finish it, and it didn't quite work out that way. But probably do something like Say, 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 the Paul McCartney and Michael Jackson song from the 80s. Or I could probably do the rapping parts of pretty much any Linkin Park hit. I definitely couldn't do Chester's side of it. Never had the screamo voice. Meanwhile, Waller kind of taking Katoge apart here in our opener, just dropping elbows across his spine. Other big moonsault from Katoge. Oh, I thought his feet were in the ropes, but Ishigaro's letting it go. 2.9. The winner, by the way, of this match will face the winner between Rey Fenix and Avery Good, which is a match that will be coming up shortly here. Grace Waller, of course, a 5-year pro trained by a wrestler we're actually going to see later on tonight. Oh my gosh, C4, Spanish fly off the top rope by Katoge. 2, 3, that's enough. Katoge advances. The number 330 seed moves on. He will now face the winner, as mentioned before, between Rey Fenix and Avery Good. We're off to a heck of a start there. Don't see a lot of top rope Spanish flies in your openers, but Grayson Waller, number 439, is out. 3:30, yes. If I update the spreadsheet, this is usually the time when a host would be vamping to cover for me doing this, but of course we wish Mike all the best. He's going through some family stuff at the moment. Everybody's okay, but it's something that is just taking up a lot of time, which absolutely understandable, requires a lot of attention. Atsushi Katoge advances to set up a match in the second round with either Rey Fenix or Avery Good. So up next, we have got a battle of a couple of independent stars. The winner will face the winner between our upcoming Jay White Wardlow match. That one's going to be insane. Referee is Adrian Butler. We now know is his gimmick name, but he was Daryl Sharma before. Wait, is that right? Scott Armstrong. I think it's Daryl Sharma. It's the same guy. Making sure. Don't want to pick the wrong guy. Yep. He's apparently now a senior ref with WWE, so good for him. The former Daryl Sharma, now Adrian Butler. But yeah, I just had to, this afternoon, update the name of one of the wrestlers in this match because up until pretty recently, Weber Hatfield, the number 423 seed in our tournament, had been going by Boomer Hatfield, but he has now changed his ways and is going by Weber. Sorry, of course, as I'm doing this, my phone's been quiet all day, but now that I'm in the middle of something, I have a friend who's texting me about going and seeing a movie Tuesday night, which sounds awesome, but I don't have a free hand at the moment. Okay, here we go. Time for the entrances. Like I said, winner will face either Jay White or Wardlow in round number 3. But first, apparently, I'm not hearing the background noise, but that is Weber Hatfield, formerly Boomer Hatfield, the number 423 seed in our tournament, upset Hot Sauce Tracy Williams back in episode 13 with a power bomb. We'll see if he can do that again to the independent star from Las Vegas, Nevada, Jody himself. The Heartbroke Kid defeated Mads Kruger, who was the number 167 seed, back in episode 16 with a Swann dive elbow attack. So these are two, top names on the indies, both about 4 years as a pro. So we will see how this one plays out. Both guys pulled off upsets. They're both low seeds. Boomer Hatfield's one of those guys that feels like he's been around forever, but he just made such an impact right away in Chikara that it just seems like, he's been around for, I was thinking he'd been around like 6 to 8 years, but apparently only 3. Jody himself the same. Actually, Jody himself has more experience. For some reason, the PWI 500 says he's only a 3-year pro, but now that I'm looking at him up on Cage Match, he actually debuted in 2015. He is, from Vegas. He's one of the top names in the Southwest scene in the lucha scene. Or lucha scene. I was looking at the lucha baseball Weber Hatfield here, who I did have to change, had to unmask in the game and update with his beard. Doesn't look great. Sorry, Weber. It was a quick fix. So early on, I don't know what happened to my audio. Possibly to do with my headset. No. Yeah. Oh well. The game is just not sending audio to my headset. So it's probably not sending anything to the stream. Is that fair to say? Zach, can you hear anything? I'm going to put on... I'm going to put on some background music here. I think, is it this rock one that he usually uses? All right. So off the ropes goes Jody himself. Not sure what he was going for, but Weber Hatfield got out of the way in time. Now it's Hatfield coming off the ropes with a big clothesline. Into a figure 4. Fires off a couple of chops, Eddie Kingston style, as we mentioned him earlier, which I know is also Suzuki style and Kobashi style. For as close to the mainstream American audience, Eddie Kingston style. Two count only. the former Boomer, now the Weber Hatfield. Punched in the face by Jody himself, and a back elbow. And a choke slam, reverse choke slam by Jody himself, and then a lariat to the back of the head. That northern lariat, not a move we see a lot of. Now Hatfield go behind, sends him off the ropes, buries a knee in the midsection, right in the old kitchen sink. And a DDT. Take a second to catch his breath here. Dragging him away from the ropes. To his feet. Fires off a right hand. Oh, went for a big forearm. But himself ducks it. Trading blows and go-behinds. Oh, Argentine rack into an axe bomber from Jody himself, but is he going for it again? No, he was trying possibly, but Hatfield rolls him up instead for a 3 count. Very, very quick finish there from Weber Hatfield. 7 minutes, 55 seconds. Did I do commentary on a match that I didn't have up on the screen again? I hate when I do that. But 7:55 with the roll up. That is the 4th fastest match in the tournament thus far. And Weber Hatfield, the number 423 seed, advances the round 128. I mean, it was going to be an upset no matter which of these two moved on, but that's back-to-back upsets now for Hatfield. And Jody himself. Also, 65%. That's low. Where does that sit in the lowest? That is the lowest rated match. Wow, the game did not like that. The game does not like short matches, giving it the lowest rating of any of the 380 something. That might have been match number 380. I'm not. Or, sorry, 330. I think that was match number 330. Either way, congrats to Weber Hatfield. Moving on to a second round showdown with either Jay White or Wardlow, or as Jessica Roberts calls him, Wardlow. I know nobody asked, but I'm still going to say training is still going great. Having a great time at the FXC Wrestling Academy. AJ Gallant, Jerry Lynn, Tom Latimer, Magic Jake Dumas. Just a really great, all-star team of trainers there. And I'm just having a great time. I've been, very fortunate. AJ, I think, just saw something in me early. I've kind of become, myself and 2 of the other trainees, the other announcer trainees, he basically brought us on as the creative team at this point. We're helping him come up with characters. We're having talent meetings at this point to find out what the guys are envisioning for their characters and pitching story ideas. It's very, very cool. So someday I will have some more specific news here on the stream to tell you guys about when the first shows are coming. That's still probably a couple months away, but it's still really exciting. But speaking of exciting, here comes Robbie Eagles. I mentioned earlier he had a hand in training Grayson Waller, the sniper of the skies, and he's given up some size here. The light heavyweight member, junior heavyweight member of Chaos, 5'10", 176. Same height, but giving up 154 pounds to Otis, representing the Alpha Academy on WWE Raw. Robbie Eagles made his debut in 2008 He was trained by Madison Eagles and Ryan Eagles. So, only appropriate. His first appearance in the tournament, we saw him upset number 106 Joey Janela, the bad boy. That was episode 14. It was 100% quality match as opposed to that 65 we just saw. It was the 21st such 100% match of the tournament. Went 23 minutes 42 seconds. Eagles representing New Japan, which is not having a great tournament. They're 32-35, which is the worst record among promotions with at least 25 matches. Otis defeated Kaito Ishida back in episode 14 in what was also a 100% quality match. We already talked about WWE is now 51-38 after Waller's loss to Atsushi Kotoge in our opener. Otis, only a 6-year pro, trained by Matt Yadden at the Mercury Pro Wrestling Academy, and then of course at the WWE Performance Center, primarily by Robbie Brookside, but guys like Regal and Matt Bloom all had a hand in his training as well. So Otis, you can tell this is not an up-to-date edit of Otis. He does not have his short hair that he does as a member of the Alpha Academy. He still has his heavy machinery demi mullet, but he does have the huge size advantage, which he is utilizing here. The referee is Scott Armstrong, former WWE referee, now essentially a referee free agent. Running elbow from Otis. So Otis, the number 151 seed. Robbie Eagles, number 407. Eagles has the significant speed advantage here, but Otis has, of course, the size and strength. So we will see which of those plays out as the advantage. Eagles doing pretty well here early, trying to keep Otis grounded with kicks and other strikes, but only a 1 count off that super kick. Smart moves here by Eagles, taking away the big man's legs, knowing that if no legs, there's nothing to build power off of, like those charging shoulders. Yeah, it's the shoulder that's doing the impact, but all that strength came from the speed he was able to build up by running. Pele kick from Eagles gives him a temporary advantage, but now it's Otis slowing things down with a side headlock. Eagles manages to escape, blocks the forearm, but not the clubbing blow to the back, nor the elbow to the back of the head. Eagles with a springboard drop kick, swing and a miss. Otis, now to his feet, kicks him in the midsection. Dragging him toward the center of the ring, now stomped to the midsection. Series of forearms to the face from Eagles. Sent off the ropes, and Otis just clubs him in, just gut on gut, and obviously Otis's gut is going to win that. For a suplex now. Just drops him. Be a good position for the Caterpillar, but both men need to catch their breath. Going hard here for the first 7 minutes of this match. Otis especially. Not used to matches dragging out like this without having somebody to tag in or out. Huge belly-to-belly overhead suplex. Otis not to be taken lightly as a grappler. I mean, he's known for being just a big powerhouse guy, but he's got some legit wrestling background. Ooh, that sliding elbow to the face from Eagles. Sniper of the Skies still in control here. Just gets punched in the face by Otis. That's how quickly it can end. Shiranui from Robbie Eagles. And then a kick to the inside. Series of kicks to the inside of the leg. He probably should have gone for a pin on that Shiranui. It's a variation on the Acai DDT. Variation on the sliced bread number 2. Call it whatever you like. But it's definitely a very effective attack. He's going to do it again. Landing on his knees. Forearm. And Otis just shuts him down with a power slam. A couple of hope spots there from Eagles. And now just an elbow drop across the chest. Almost enough. 2.9, says Scott Armstrong. Are we going to get another Axe Bomber here? No. Good Lord, by Eagles just dropping Otis on his head. But Otis has got that thick neck. Just able to rebound almost immediately. Here's forearms to the face from Eagles. And then a punch from Otis, just as effective as 3 forearms from Eagles. Eagles now manages to get Otis up to the top rope. Oh my god! Avalanche overhead throw, 2.9. Eagles only gets a 2.9. Otis just coming off the ropes, but he saw Eagles getting to his feet. Eagles with sliced bread number 2. And out of the top rope, 450, 1, 2, 3. That was a lethal combination there from Robbie Eagles. And number 407, Eagles pulls off his second upset of the tournament. Robbie Eagles moves on to round number 3. 151, Otis. Oops. Has fallen by the wayside. Otis, I suspect, will be ranked higher than 151 this year. Not as big a focus as a singles wrestler as he was last year. When before the Alpha Academy stuff, he was almost contending for titles. But he has gotten more. I feel like he's gotten a lot of TV time, which is good because Chad Gable needed the airtime as well. So it wouldn't surprise me to see Otis in the top 150 this year. And now, by virtue of that win, Robbie Eagles will now face the winner of, this is going to be a fun one later on tonight, the Great Mutah and El Lindemann. So up next, we're moving right along here. We'll take a little bit of a break at about the halfway point. Match number 4 already. We have seen 2 upsets in our first 3. We will see if Mike Outlaw can continue that when he takes on Dralistico. Referee will be Jessica Carr from WWE. This will be our second independent versus independent match of the day. Usually we'll talk about, how each wrestler's promotion is doing in the tournament thus far, but neither of these guys are associated with the promotion, so I'm not going to do that for this one. But Dralistico, oh boy, we've talked about it on the show in the past. I'll talk about it more when he makes his entrance. You will recognize him when you see him, but probably not in the way you think you do. First, here comes Mike Outlaw, number 375. He upset Shane Taylor back in episode number 13, head of Shane Taylor Promotions. He won that with a guillotine cutter. He based out of St. Louis, Missouri. Worked for GCW, Glory Pro, Black Wrestlers Matter, WrestleMax. Had some matches with AJ Gray, JDX. He won the David Lee Memorial Tournament during the evaluation period. And then there's Mystico, 5'9", 168 pounds from Tala, Jalisco, Mexico. Defeated Tommy Dreamer back in episode number 13. So, Dralistico, listed on the PWI 500 as Mystico, because he is the second wrestler to have held the Mystico mantle. Of course, long time Lucha fans know Mystico as WWE's Sin Cara, right? So when Mystico left to go to WWE, he bequeathed the mask to a man who would become Mystico 2. So he wrestled for a couple of years as Mystico, and then when in CMLL primarily, and then when Sin Cara was released and went back to Mexico, there was already a Mystico now, so he started going by Caristico. Mystico then changed his. He started teaming with his cousin, I believe, and changed his name to Dragon Lee, which allowed the original Mystico to go back to being Mystico. And then Dragon Lee at the time, his cousin also started going by Dragon Lee, so he switched to Dralistico, kind of playing off his Mystico days. It's a whole lucha lineage is weird, and I probably butchered some of the details there. But yes, I was going to tag him on Twitter like I did most of the other wrestlers in today's show, except his account has been closed. So I don't know what he said, but at CMLL_Mystico is no more. He's definitely going to be trying to use his speed advantage. He's undersized, but not by, I mean, it's 46 pounds is nothing to sneeze at, but it's far from the worst, biggest size disparity as we just saw with Robbie Eagles and Otis earlier on. With me 1 second, I'm trying to multitask here. One of these days, I will bring a co-host back on to vamp for me when this is happening. Mike Outlaw, meanwhile, not a ton out there about him. I mean, his cage match entry is very limited. He was one of the 20 security guards that Wardlow beat on at Road Rager on about 3 weeks ago, whenever that AEW show was, along with other indie guys like Camaro Jackson, Dan the Dad, in terms of guys that we've talked about on this show before. He's been working for Dynamo Pro, Warrior Wrestling, Glory Pro, CSW. He recently lost the MWR Missouri Heavyweight Championship to Adrian Surge after having beaten Surge that same night. Just lost it right back to him. And we've mentioned on this show a few times before, we do use the Japanese 20 count rule on the floor, which is why this match is not already over. Jessica Carr got up to 15 on her count there. Too many balls in the air at the moment. We're going to go full screen with the match for the time being to enjoy Mike Outlaw against Dralistico. I will be right here. I am still half watching, but I'm also trying to get something else done here. Okay, sorry about that. Actually, you know what? I kind of like this full screen match here. When it's just me, it feels awkward having my face on the screen doing commentary. We'll go back to me full screen when in between matches, so you're not looking at me on the edit of the selection screen. Man, I'm confusing myself now. Dralistico with the frog splash. 2 count only. Outlaw, is he going for it again? He does. 1, 2.9. Mike Outlaw kicks out again. Rocker dropper from Mike Outlaw. Then 1, 2. Kick out again by Dralistico. Sent to the floor now by Mike Outlaw. A Outlaw catching his breath in the middle of the ring, right in the center of the logo. Could not be more centered if he tried. 1 foot on the S, 1 foot on the T. Knee to the midsection. Dralistico with a Huracan Rana. Too close to the ropes, says referee Jessica Carr. Arnello super kick from Dralistico. Now back to the top rope. Is he going for that frog splash again? No! Swinging Rana off the top. Now the frog splash, but Outlaw all up in the ropes. Carr does not even count. Outlaw now going for a suplex. Little delay at the top, and then drops him down. Off the ropes. And a collision. I don't know who was going for what there. They ran into each other and both fell down. Dralistico now. Oh, walks right into a swinging neck breaker from Mike Outlaw. Now trading blows. Dralistico with chops to the chest. Outlaw with big right hands to the face. Super kick from Dralistico. And Outlaw with a big boot of his own. Drop toe hold by Dralistico. And a kick to the groin. Low blow by Mike Outlaw. Oh, he was going for that knee again, but up and over with a tilt-a-whirl DDT. And an enziguri. I thought he was going for a Poison Rana, but instead he turns it into a Huracan Rana 2, 3, and that is enough. Mystico picks up the win. Number 119, Mystico advances to round number 3. I actually really like that full screen. I think we are going to try going with that. Maybe not entirely going forward for the rest of this episode as a sort of experiment. 6%, they're calling it a mysterious Rana from Dralistico. 119 will now be moving on. He will face the winner between Rich Swann and John Silver, which is our main event. That's going to be a fun match. That is actually a rematch, which is why it is the main event. Next match this will be our 5th match of the night, and it'll be our intermission match. We'll take a little 5-minute break after this one. Background music is pretty catchy. So, of course, this is all simulated, so wrestlers who are injured are not injured in our tournament. So we will actually get to see Darius Martin in our next contest. I do not envy him this match because he's got a pretty solid chance of just straight up dying. Let's head to the ring for those intros. Eventually, there we go. Thanks, Fire Pro. So Darius Martin, the 343 seed. We saw him upset number 170 Shelton Benjamin back in episode number 14. AEW is 52-40 thus far in the tournament, the second best record among promotions with at least 30 matches. The 92 matches, 52 wins, and 40 losses are all most among all promotions. And he's in there against Murder Grandpa Minoru Suzuki. 5'10", 225 pounds from Yokohama, Kanagawa, Japan. We saw him defeat SB Kento back in episode 14 as well with a flying cross arm breaker. But, he's also got that gotch-style pile driver, sleeper holds, pile drivers, octopus holds. Suzuki has so many ways of hurting you, and he loves to do it. He's getting his chance here against Darius Martin, who, again, is injured in real life, but the beauty of simulation is he doesn't have to be in our game. Winner of this will face the winner between El Hijo del Vikingo and MVP in round number 3. And we will have that Vikingo MVP match after the break. It won't be our first match, but it will be after. It will be the second match, I believe, after the break. Suzuki with a running big boot. Sent into the corner by Martin. Airwolf looked like he was going for something, but Suzuki fought out of it very quickly. Oh, God. Looked like he was going for possibly a dragon whip, and instead he just slapped him in the face. Cross arm breaker. Martin with a scoop and a slam sends Suzuki to the floor. Right back in, though. Reversal on the Irish whip. Martin looked like he was going to try and follow him in, but Suzuki was like, nah, I'm not staying here. Trade slaps, and I guess just a straight slap to the face by the leader of Suzuki. Off the ropes. And just a PK to the chest. Elbow to the back from Martin. Another elbow to the back from Martin. Like a slap to the chest. Suzuki kind of no-sold it. Forearms to the face from Suzuki. Chops from Martin. Martin actually won a striking exchange against Minoru Suzuki. Never thought I'd see the day. And Suzuki now making him pay for it. Those forearms and a standing arm breaker. Forearm to the face. I'm not entirely sure what that was. I thought he was going for a flying cross arm breaker, but it was just kind of a takedown. Elbow, side headlock. Martin trying to wear him down. Referee Derek Moore, really a little ambitious, asking Suzuki if he's going to submit to a side headlock 5 minutes into a match. Oh no. I thought Suzuki again switching things up, thought he was going for a ground and pound. Instead, he goes into an ankle pick. Grabs the ropes as Martin tries to send him off. Single leg from Suzuki. Very basic wrestling move. That lateral press. Should have hooked a leg, get a little more leverage. Suzuki almost toying with Darius Martin here. Suzuki's saying, show me what you got, kid. I've seen a lot of your brother on TV. What do you have? What Martin does have is training at the Academy School of Professional Wrestling, which means he got to learn at the feet of people like Ken Anderson, Eric Cannon, Sean Daivari, and Arya Daivari, and Molly Holly. Meanwhile, Suzuki was trained by the legendary Karl Gotch, which is why he uses that Gotch-style pile driver. Yoshiaki Fujiwara, which is why he uses the Fujiwara armbar. Plus Billy Robinson and Kotetsu Yamamoto, 34-year pro, is Minoru Suzuki. Suzuki made his first appearance on the PWI 500 in 2006. His highest rating ever was number 14 in 2007. This was Martin's second appearance on the 500, previously having been number 467 in 2020. Step up Enziguri from Darius Martin. Trade missed strikes here, and then a knee to the midsection from Suzuki. What's Martin going for here? Looks like Martin wanted either a pile driver or a power bomb, and Suzuki just backdrops him to the floor. Northern Lights suplex from Martin. 1, 2. Suzuki kicks out. Go behind by Martin. Side suplex. Remember back in the day when that was Shawn Michaels' finisher before he started using the super kick? Moonsault kick, not quite Pele, but very similar to it. Suzuki kicks out at 2.9, now sending Martin off the ropes. Catches him in that Fujiwara armbar. One of his mentors must be very proud. Now he's going for the Gotch-style pile driver. That's gotta be it. He's still not hooking the leg, though. 2.9. Martin makes him pay for it. He had his legs free to kick out, and he does have powerful legs. The high flyer. Shrine from Darius Martin. An air raid crash. Suzuki's like, oh, no, you don't, whippersnapper. Cover 1, 2. Only a 2. You gotta hook the leg, Minoru-san. Putting Suzuki up on the top rope. He's going for a superplex. Suzuki's like, no, you're not. Rakes his eyes and chases him down to the mat. And we're again getting a striking contest here. Both wrestlers showing that fighting spirit. Super kick from Darius Martin and a drop kick from Suzuki. Both men down, catching their breath as we pass the 12.5-minute mark here. Martin with the go behind. Another side suplex. Headlock again from Martin. Derek Moore asking Suzuki if he gives up. He doesn't give up. He's Minoru Suzuki. I have no idea what to call this, but it looks painful as hell. Suzuki trying to drag himself across the ring. It was a very complicated hold, and Martin couldn't hold onto it for long, which I think is the only thing that saved Suzuki there. Suzuki was tied up in knots, but Martin just didn't have a lot of room to do anything with himself. Flying cross arm breaker by Suzuki, but Martin was able to get into the ropes. Northern Light suplex, but Suzuki now the one in the ropes. So you need to get back toward the center of the ring. Those forearms from Suzuki should do that. Charging off, kick to the back of the head. Suzuki catching his breath. Another air raid crash from Martin. Doesn't go for the pin though. Suzuki makes him pay for it, drops him right into the Fujiwara armbar. We pass the 15-minute mark. Martin manages to get a foot under the ropes. Slap to the face from Suzuki. Super kick. Darius Martin, howling like the airwolf that he is. Their jump up enzigiri. And a big headbutt from Suzuki. Front face lock, the front chancery, bringing him toward the corner. Now he's going up to the top. Diving splash across the back of Suzuki. Martin slow to capitalize, doesn't go for a pin. Pulls him to his feet and hits a big forearm, now flexing on him. That just doesn't seem wise. Martin again to the top with a big splash. 1, 2, 3. Huge upset. Darius Martin, number 343, has defeated number 87, Minoru Suzuki, here in the second round. 343. 5 matches, and 3 of them have been upsets. That's pretty impressive for the young man from Minneapolis, who, as I mentioned, real life on the injured reserve list, but here in the 500, he has advanced to the round of 128 with a diving body press to defeat Minoru Suzuki, the number 87 seed in our tournament. So we got 5 matches down so far. Atsushi Kotogi beat Grayson Waller. Weber Hatfield beat Jody himself. Robbie Eagles beat Otis. Dralistico over Mike Outlaw. And we just saw Darius Martin beat Minoru Suzuki. We've got 6 more matches to come, including a massive main event with Rich Swann taking on John Silver. Don't go anywhere. The 500 will be right now. back for our 6th of 11 big matches today. I do apologize. I thought I had taken care of this beforehand, but I apparently didn't. We talked about how I had changed Boomer Hatfield's look to account for the fact that he is now Weber Hatfield and doesn't wear a mask. I forgot to unmask Avery Good, the former Dasher Hatfield. So you do see Avery wearing his old mask. We did see him upset Timothy Thatcher back in episode 14. We spoke a little bit about Arya Davari earlier. He was eliminated in episode 14 by this man, the number 55 seed, the AAA Latin American and Cruiserweight champion, Rey Fenix, representing the Death Triangle in AEW. Of course, also one half of the Lucha Bros in AAA, and throughout the independents, one of the best wrestlers in the entire world. Man, I cannot say enough good things about Rey Fenix. He is probably one of my 5 favorite wrestlers in the world right now. He just can do things nobody else can. But early on, Avery Good has the advantage. Avery Good has had a number of gimmicks over the years after having been trained 16 years ago at the Chikara Wrestle Factory by Claudio Castagnoli and Mike Quackenbush. He has gone by, of course, Avery Good, which is a variation on a gimmick he was using after Chikara folded. He had been Dasher Hatfield in Chikara, and then started going by a very good professional wrestler, which he then shortened to Avery Good. He has also gone by Create a Wrestler, Moscow, Communist Bovine, Mr. X, Sean Hayes, and Ultimo Breakfast. Sean Hayes is H-A-Z-E, by the way, not H-A-Y-E-S. So lots of gimmicks over the years, most of them involving either baseball or food, which is why a lot of his moves are named after such. He's got a baseball slide kick, he's got the brunch buster, the grand slam, the suicide squeeze, sunny side up, your toast. A man who lives and dies by his gimmick is Avery Good, aka a very good professional wrestler. But speaking of very good professional wrestlers, Rey Fenix. Also, a lot of experience in this match. Fenix, a 17-year pro, the man of 1,000 lives, El Hijo del Fuego, son of the fire. Fenix has, if there is a title to be won somewhere in the world, he has probably won. He only recently, with his brother Penta El Cero Miedo, aka Penta Oscuro, aka Pentagon Jr., they have held the AEW Tag Team titles in the past. They have been the AAA Tag Team Champions. They've been House of Glory Tag Team Champions. They've been the War Tag Team Champions. They've been the Crash Tag Team Champions. They've been the Impact Tag Team Champions. AAW, MLW, PWG. He is a former Lucha Underground champion as a singles wrestler. He is a former AAW heavyweight champion. He is a former AAA Mega champion. He teamed with Aerostar and Drago to win the Lucha Underground Trios titles. He is basically everywhere he's gone. He has held. He's a 2-time AAA Tag Team Champion, 2-time AAW Tag Team Champion, 2-time Gift of the Gods Champion in Lucha Underground, 2-time PDM Heavyweight Champion, 2-time the Crash Cruiserweight Champion. The House of Glory Tag Team titles, one reign for him and Pentagon. They held it for 1,007 days. Only recently, by recently I mean March of this year, lost those titles to the Briscoe after having won them in 2019. So, yeah, Fenix, a very well decorated wrestler. Avery Good, on the other hand, also a prolific champion, mostly in the last few years. He was the inaugural Camp Leapfrog champion. You can see all of that over at Independent Wrestling, IWTV.com. He was the Chikara Grand Champion. He also teamed with Mark Angelo Setti as the Throwbacks. Together they won the Campeonatos de Parejas title in Chikara. And then under his Sean Hayes gimmick, he was the 3K Wrestling World Openweight Champion and the PXW Heavyweight Champion. Avery Good, also a very good professional wrestler. He is in there, unfortunately, with Rey Fenix. Fenix's best ever ranking on the PWI 500 was number 22 in 2019. Avery Good, this year's rating of 311 is the best of his career. Rey Fenix gonna fly. Tornillo Tope. I don't know why Good went for he's going for pinning combinations on the floor. Someone explained the rules of professional wrestling to a very good professional wrestler? Oh, just a big thrust kick from Fenix. Coming off the ropes now. Cazadora into the Bulldog. An elbow across the face. Drop toe hold. Elbow to the face. Good, sends Fenix off the ropes and a shoulder block. Avery Good again coming off the ropes. Drop kick to the back of the knee. Knee to the back from Fenix. Victory roll from Good. 2.9. I thought that was it. I thought we had another upset on our hands. Our fourth in 6 matches. Spinning back fist from Fenix. Fenix been spending some time with Eddie Kingston in AEW. Working on that Hurricane spinning back fist. Now Good coming off the ropes. Another drop kick to the knee. Smart strategy by Avery Good. He's got a size advantage, but he also knows... Oh, Fenix with a Canadian Destroyer. Mexican Destroyer from Fenix. He also knows that so much of Fenix's offense comes from his strong legs. If he can't springboard, if he can't jump off the top rope, so much of Fenix's high-powered offense is shut down. That's why we keep seeing Good go for that knee drop kick. Spin kick to the midsection. Very good. Tried to get him up into fireman's carry. Fenix fought out of it. Now they're exchanging punches. Near the 14-minute mark of this one. Big drop kick from Avery Good. Fenix to his feet. Variation on a spine buster there. A small package. Too close to the ropes, says John Cone, our referee. Fenix with a Fenix splash. 1, 2.9. I thought that was going to be it. Went out the big guns. Sit out package pile driver. And a standing moonsault. Too close to the ropes. Fenix really, as the match goes on, his high-flying moves are really starting to come out. Good. I don't know what he was going for, but he just ran face first into the top turnbuckle. Doesn't seem any worse for wear here. Going off the ropes again. Clothesline takes Fenix down. Back to their feet. Spinning back kick attempt. My Good. Now up into the fireman's carry. Into a power bomb. 1, 2.9. I thought that was going to do it there, but Fenix fights out of it. Up to the top rope now. Is he going for that Phoenix splash again? No. It was for a Rana. Field toward the center of the ring. Now coming off the ropes again. Another Frankensteiner. Cazadora into the Bulldog. A swinging neck breaker by Avery Good. Going for a wind up and the pitch. And a roll up from behind. Gets him into the ropes. Fenix sends Good into the corner. Charges in. Good moves. And Good charges in with a tackle in the corner. Up to the top rope. Diving elbow drop across the back of Fenix's head. both men down as we pass the 18-minute mark here. Northern Light suplex attempt by Good, countered into a DDT by Fenix. Up to the top rope, twisting 630 across the chest of Avery Good, and then the standing moonsault. 1, 2, 3. Yes, that's got to do it. Number 55, Rey Fenix advances to the round 128. Valiant effort there from Avery Good. But, as I said, throughout the match, Rey Fenix, one of the absolute best in the world, and he just was not going to be denied today. Number 55, Rey Fenix. Number 311, Avery Good. 98% quality according to the game. 18 minutes, 43 seconds. A corkscrew cannonball senton is what the game is calling it. And who am I to argue? But we do know now that means Rey Fenix will face Atsushi Katoge in round number 3. And round number 3 is coming up soon. After this episode, there will be only 3 more episodes in round 2, at which point we will be narrowed down to 128 wrestlers. As I've mentioned a few times throughout the course of the series, mostly the last couple weeks, since I sort of finalized those plans, what's going to happen starting with round 3 is rather than just doing just straight all of round 3's matches, what I'm planning on doing is breaking it down into smaller groups. So we'll have 16 wrestlers go into episode 37 will be the first one in round 3, right? So the 16 wrestlers that go into that, there will be 8 third-round matches, and then the winners of those 4 matches that would meet in the 4th round, which would normally be a later episode, will then meet later in that episode. So the winners will have to fight twice in one night in the 3rd and 4th rounds. It feels like it'll probably help us get through these rounds a little faster. We'll do the same thing in rounds 5 and 6. And then the finale episode will be the quarters, the semis, and the final, all in a single night. So this next match should be a lot of fun. The winner will be facing Darius Martin, who upset Minoru Suzuki right before the break. That will happen in round number 3. But first, here comes MVP. 1, 2, you hear the clock ticking, tick, tock, you about to stop living. MVP, who has mostly moved into a managerial role for the massive Omos on Monday Night Raw for WWE, was the number 298 on the PWI 500 this year. He beat Trent Beretta back in episode 14 in a 100% quality match. He's in there with the number 42 seed, the AAA Mega Champion, El Hijo del Vikingo, the son of the Viking, a member of the Los Jinetes del Aire group in AAA. AAA, unfortunately, not doing so great in this tournament. They are 9-10, which is the 3rd worst record among promotions with at least 15 matches. So he defeated Alice Crowley back in episode 23. Crowley, one of those wrestlers who I wasn't able to find an edit of and had to make my own. And Vikingo made decently short work of her, beating her with a code breaker in just a hair over 10 minutes. That's from the last round. Scoop and a slam by MVP. For suplexes, snap suplex. Takes Hijo down. El Hijo del Vikingo, I think, is number 42 in this year's PWI 500. I'm predicting a top 20, possibly even top 15 spot for him this year. He has been the real standout in the Lucha Libre scene since July of 2021, which is when the the PWI 500 evaluation period. Oh, Bryce Remsburg is down, if that is his real name. He's down if it's not his real name, too, but he is down. But nobody taking advantage of it, except now we know Remsburg busted open. It's actually our first color of the night, I believe. We have not had any blood through our first 6 matches, and the first one to get busted open hard way is Bryce Remsburg. Jawbreaker there from Vikingo, goes behind into a variation on the abdominal stretch, almost an octopus stretch there, hooking the knee over the back of MVP's neck. Pulling him up, going for a power bomb. Yes! Sit out, shoulder mounted power bomb, gets a 1 count only. Scooping a slam by MVP sends Vikingo to the floor. MVP following him out. Omos not in MVP's corner. The rules of the 500 dictate that there are no seconds or managers or valets. It is straight up one-on-one. It is possible to be disqualified. It is exceedingly rare. It has not happened yet in the tournament. We leave that up to referee discretion. As you saw, MVP was able to pull a chair on Vikingo. The referees have thus far allowed standing moonsault 2 count only. MVP kicks out. Only a lateral press on the pin there from Vikingo. Throw from the fastest wrestlers in the world, the baseball slide to MVP's head. Belly to belly overhead by MVP. 1, 2 count only. So yeah, the referee's discretion goes a long way in these matches. We have yet to have a disqualification. We have had, I believe, only 3 countouts through 360 some odd matches. And I'm sorry if you can hear my cat in the background. She is very angry that we were out of town for a week. And is standing outside my studio door, which is my office door, just real mad that I'm in here and not actively petting her head. Sorry, River. Look for power bomb. No, MVP just drops onto his back. 2 count only. Code Breaker. That's the move that Vikingo used to beat Alice Crowley back in episode 23. Almost enough to beat MVP here in episode 33. MVP was, I think he might have been looking for the playmaker, or the play of the day. Oh man, drive-by kick. Vikingo to his feet. Look for suplex again. That's a snap suplex. Vikingo hops up into another code breaker. Drags MVP away from the corner. Standing moonsault again, only a lateral press, does not hook the leg. 2.9, MVP, wily veteran, able to kick out. MVP has been around and made his debut in 1999. 23-year pro, protege of Alex G, Norman Smiley, Rusty Brooks, and Dave Taylor. Formerly known as one of my favorite nicknames, Black Godzilla. There's MVP. Also went by Antonio Banks during his developmental days in WWE. 1, 2.9. Vikingo kicks out. Hijo del Vikingo, a 9-year pro. Debuted on 12/12/12, which was a year, a month, and a day after my wedding on 11/11/11. So I will probably now never forget Vikingo's debut date. Vikingo, 9-year pro, only 25 years old. He debuted at 16. 630 senton across the back. Doesn't go for the pin. MVP with that variation on the Shining Wizard. That might be enough. 1, 2.9. Vikingo kicks out. Elbow from MVP. Taking a second to catch his breath. I always thought MVP had cool gear. It's a weird kind of Power Ranger-y getup, but it's eye-catching. Oh, God, that running Mafia kick into the corner. Again, he went for the play of the day, but Vikingo just collapsed. But yeah, nobody has gear like MVP's. 1, 2, 3. That's enough. Nice roll-up from Vikingo after MVP missed the play of the day. And El Hijo del Vikingo, number 42, the AAA Mega Champion, moves on to the 3rd round. big win for Hijo del Vikingo. 298. Quality 11 minutes, 35 seconds. Our second roll-up victory of the night. However, Hatfield was one to beat Jody himself earlier in the evening. It is weird to say evening because I had to train myself out of saying it before when we were always doing morning streams. Not gonna lie, I kind of like the evening stream. This is kind of nice. I guess it'll conflict with pay-per-views once in a while, but Hijo del Vikingo, by virtue of that victory, will now face Darius Martin in round 3, which should be a super fun match. And everybody's favorite referee, Aubrey Edwards, who, one of my favorite referees. I know she's not everybody's cup of tea because, you know, wrestling. She will be officiating our next match, featuring one of my favorite wrestlers in Japan, El Lindemann, against one of the all-time greatest wrestlers in Japan, Pro Wrestling Noah's Great Mutah. This one should be fun by pretty much every metric you can possibly measure fun by. These two guys will get into some crazy stuff in this match. I hear Muta is busting out the black face paint for this match. So let's head to the ring for match number 8. The winner will face Robbie Eagles in round 3. Muto has been around forever. We will get to him in just a second, but we will start with the 5'3", 154 native of Nakano, Tokyo, Japan, El Lindemann, a member of the Strong Hearts faction in Glate, which is one of the most confusing promotions in the world. Mix of traditional pro wrestling as well as UWFI rules, which are sort of a hybrid of pro wrestling and MMA. Lindemann representing Glate. Glate is 2-2, which is good for 9th place out of 18 promotions with at least 4 matches. And he defeated Matt Mikowski back in episode 14. This is our first of, I believe, our last 4 matches are all chalk. Keiji Muto, the Great Mutah, the number 23 seed in our tournament, defeated number 490 John West in episode 22. His peak on the PWI 500 was in 2002. He was number 3 on the list. He is one of only a handful of wrestlers on this year's list, the 2021 list, who also appeared on the very first list back in 1991. Muto, a 37-year pro, trained by Antonio Inoki, Hiro Matsuda, Yotetsu Yamamoto, Kengo Kimura. I mean, just a pro wrestling genius, pro wrestling master. Just one of the best to ever do it. His background is in judo and baseball. Pretty much invented the Shining Wizard, at least made it popular. He has been a professional wrestler a decade longer than El Lindemann has been alive. Lindemann trained at the Dragon Gate Dojo, and then gained some international notoriety, teaming with Shima T-Hawk and bringing the Strong Hearts brand to the States. They appeared on several early AEW shows. They were actually the first wrestlers I saw make their entrance live at an AEW show. They had a dark match against the Young Bucks at the first live AEW show I ever went to. So, very entertaining in-ring style for El Lindemann. He was number 234 on last year's list. I suspect he will probably be higher. He had a good year teaming with T-Hawk. They had the All Asia Tag Team titles for about 4 months. He also was the 0-1 International Junior Heavyweight Champion and the 0-1 World Junior Heavyweight Champion concurrently for the first couple months of the evaluation period. So, no stranger to championships is Lindemann, but, man, you want to talk about titles. Let's talk about Keiji Muto. 5-time All Japan World Tag Team Champion, 4-time IWGP Heavyweight Champion, 6-time IWGP Tag Team Champion, 3-time Triple Crown Champion. His 4 IWGP title reigns combine for 1,238 days. He's also been GHC Tag Team Champion with Naomichi Marufuji, as well as the GHC Heavyweight Champion, Wrestle One Champion. Let's see what else. What other title? He was WCW World Tag Team Champion with Vampiro for a day in 2000. He was the NWA World Champion in 1993 for about 7 weeks. WWC Puerto Rico Heavyweight Champion. He was the NWA World Television Champion, the WWC Television Champion, the NWA Florida Heavyweight Champion. Muta has seen it all. He has done it all. He was a member of the New World Order. He was a member of Dark Carnival in WCW. He was managed by Gary Hart, by Oliver Humperdinck. He was a member of the J-Tex Corporation. This is a guy who has been around pro wrestling forever, has wrestled against the best, has been managed by the best. Just any possible thing you can do in wrestling over the last 4 decades, Muta has done it in some form or another. He won the IWGP Tag Team Title League in 1987, the Super Grade Tag League in 1993, the Super Grade Tag League in 1994, the G1 Climax in 1995, the Super Grade Tag League in 1997, the Super Grade Tag League in 1998, the G1 Tag League in 1999, the Real World Tag League in 2001, the Champion Carnival and Giant Baba 6-Man Cup in 2002, the All Japan World Tag Team Title Tournament in 2003, the Champion Carnival in 2004, the Champion Carnival in 2007, the Real World Tag League in 2007, the Real World Tag League in 2009, and the Global Impact USA versus the World in 2015. He was one of 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 winners of that show. The Team International won 5-4, with him defeating Mr. Anderson in the main event in 8 minutes 25 seconds. I'm not sure what order this all is in. Okay, yeah, it broke a tie where it was 4-4. Yeah, this is very confusing the way this is laid out on Cage Match. But yes, along with Tigre Uno, Angelina Love, the Great Sonata, Bram, one of my trainers, Tom Latimer, who is fantastic, by the way. Drew Galloway, who's now Drew McIntyre. Koya, who is now known as Mahabali Shera. Rockstar Spud, Magnus, now Nick Aldis, and Sanjay Dutt made up that Team International. So, it has taken me 12 minutes to run through the Great Mutah's extensive... Oh, now we've got some blood after biting Lindemann's forehead. Lindemann is now bleeding. Elbows to the face from Muta. Will we see some mist from Muta? Yes, we will. It looks like he was setting up for it, and he did. So now Lindemann, his face looks like Christmas. He's got blood and green mist on his face. 2 count only, says referee Aubrey Edwards, indicating that Lindemann got a shoulder up. Elbows to the face again. Went with the green mist again. Oh, and again gets him right in the face, right in front of Aubrey Edwards, who again, this is all referee discretion. That seemed to anger Lindemann. It's a German suplex, then rolls through into a deadlift German. Again, German again rolls through. Tiger suplex, 1, 2.9. Muta kicks out. Lindemann putting... Oh, Muta just punches him in the balls. Taz, my balls. I know, I saw it. Sorry, one of my all-time favorite announcer calls. Bully Ray was on commentary or was in the match. Taz was on commentary during the Aces and Eights storyline. Lindemann just looks like he's kind of covered in poo now. The red from his blood and the green from the mist is kind of turned into a fine bronze poo color. Okay, the red's starting to pop out a little bit more now. But Taz takes a shot to Bully Ray takes a shot to the groin during a match, and he turns to Taz at the announce table and says, "Taz, my balls!" Another green mist to the face from Mutah. Taz replies, "I know, I saw it." In his very thick Brooklyn accent. Elbow to the back of the head from Lindemann. As I mentioned, this is our first of 4 chalk matches where both participants in the match were favored to win their first round matches. And so we're, quote unquote, supposed to be here. Rolling Germans here from Lindemann, just dropping Mutah on the back of his head. Mutah fires off some elbows to break the cycle. Lindemann just bowls him over. Rana from Mutah put Lindemann in the ropes. Does it again. I just realized he's not just wearing black and white face paint. He's wearing his NWO face paint. He's got a chair and he just jabs Lindemann in the back with it. And again. Snapmares him over. Pulls out another chair. Just blasts him in the face with it. Mutah has given up on trying to win this technically. He's just going to pummel Lindemann with that steel chair. Sending him into the corner. Put him up on the top rope. What are we looking for here? Superplex. No, Lindemann fights out of it. Aubrey Edwards starting to count. He does have a 5 count to come down. Comes down on 2 with a double axe handle. And a running splash. 2, 3. El Lindemann has defeated the Great Mutah. Big upset here for Lindemann. That's got to be the biggest win of El Lindemann's career. 234. Lindemann for 23. Great Mutah. Huge win. That flying body press from Lindemann. And 17 seconds. Flying body press, according to the game. Not being used with the diving body press that Darius Martin used earlier to beat Minoru Suzuki. And we now know it will be El Lindemann and Robbie Eagles facing off in round number 3. We've got, speaking of 3 big matches still to come. And this one, just to talk about the depths that the PWS roster has, and the insane quality of matches throughout the bracket. The fact that neighbor drove by with his big car showing off his tiny balls. This is a match that could main event anywhere in the world, and it is our anti-penultimate match here. Just because we've got so many great matches here. I mean, it's 500 best wrestlers in the world from last year. So, of course, we've got good matches all up and down the card. And this one should be no different. Sort of a clash in styles. But honestly, I think they might be complementary styles, and we could have an excellent match here. Jason Ayers from WWE is the referee. Let's head down to the ring. The winner by the Dubs will move on to face Weber Hatfield in round number 3. First out, Mr. Mayhem Wardlow, the pride of Cleveland, number 218 on last year's list. You know he's going to be top 100, probably top 50 this year. He is the new AEW TNT champion as of Wednesday. I mean, this is, 4 days ago he beat Scorpio Sky to win the title. Looks like he's going right into a feud with Sammy Guevara, which shocking. I like Sammy as an in-ring performer, but I need him away from that title for a little bit. Wardlow beat Max Caster back earlier in the tournament. Jay White, the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion. It's the IWGP Champion against the TNT Champion. Jay White beat Keita Murray in episode 22 with his Blade Runner finish. His peak on the PWI 500 was number 12 back in 2019. He was number 39 on the 2021 list. White probably a top 15 to 20 this year. On Twitter last week, I don't remember what day it was. I put out a poll, not a poll, but just kind of a question on Twitter at PW Simulated, asking for people's top 10, because we now know the PWI 500 evaluation period ended on June 30th. So from July 1st of 2021 to June 30th of 2022, that's what they're going to be using to evaluate the top 500. I put out my list, my top 10, which is Roman Reigns at number 1. I had Hangman Adam Page at number 2. I think I had Big E number 3. It was either Big E 3, Kenny Omega 4, or the other way around. CM Punk 5, Jon Moxley 6, Hiroshi Tanahashi 7. This is all from memory, so I may have some of the order wrong. Tanahashi 7, Seth Rollins 8, Kevin Owens 9, and Kazuchika Okada 10. But in that next batch of 10 to 15, you got to think both of these guys will be there, along with with MVP Bryan Danielson, Adam Cole, Bobby Lashley. Brock Lesnar not going to qualify for the list this year because they do require a minimum of 10 matches during the year evaluation period, and I believe Brock only had 8, if I remember right. So not allowed in it. I think both members of FTR will probably crack the top, for sure the top 50, possibly the top 30. They had such a great year. Dax especially, not that Cash wasn't great, but Dax had more singles matches and excelled in them. Let's see, I'm trying to think of other guys who just had really good years that we can expect to be up near the top. I mean, usual suspects. Drew McIntyre will almost certainly be up there. I think maybe the biggest drop will be Kota Ibushi, who was number 5 last year, and just has not been. I mean, yeah, he's had his issues with New Japan management, which has kept him out of shows a lot. But I think, we're probably going to see a big drop from Ibushi. Shingo Takagi will likely still be ranked pretty high. I expect Moose will be up pretty high this year. He had a really good year in Impact. Josh Alexander will almost certainly be in the top 20 somewhere. There it is. I think that might have just done it, but Wardlow pops right back up. Is it time for Powerbomb Symphony from Wardlow? Just kicks him in the balls. Switchblade, one of the smartest wrestlers in the world, sees the momentum Wardlow is building. Wardlow, only an 8-year pro, from Cleveland, 6'2", 249. He's got the size advantage over the 9-year pro Jay White. Switchblade, the leader of Bullet Club. These two really just kind of beating the hell out of each other here. Wardlow sent off the ropes. White hits a back elbow to the face. Behind, nope. Strikes from Wardlow, takes White down. Wardlow struggling to catch his breath. Fireman's carry. Into a slam. Almost a version of the attitude adjustment. 2.9. White Took every instant there before he kicked out. Pulling him to his feet. Blade Runner. I think that did it. 1, 2. Really? Brian, who is that referee? For a second, it was Brian Hefner. It's not. It is. Who did I say earlier? Jason Ayers. Not in any rush to count that pin, which clearly not making White happy. Pandering to the crowd, gets his hair pulled into a takedown from Wardlow. Forearm to the face from Mr. Mayhem. A series of punches, and White goes down. Again, hair pull takedown by Wardlow, and a big clothesline. And axe handle across the back, kick to the balls. Again, White, anytime Wardlow starts to get some momentum going, White goes low. Uranagi suplex by White, but he's not able to capitalize. It's really the first time in this match that we've seen that. Another attitude adjustment there from Wardlow, that fireman's carry takeover slam. 1, 2. Kick out by White. Take more than that to keep the switchblade down. Wardlow staying on his man. That is the kind of tenacity you might not have seen this time a year ago from Wardlow. Suplex sends him to the floor. Oh, other guys that will probably be ranked high. Edge will almost certainly be ranked very high this year after not making the list last year. Death Valley driver on the floor by White. But Wardlow is to his feet first, chasing White back into the ring. Punches to the midsection, stomp to the back. White takes him down with a DDT to stop the momentum. Oh God, he pops right back up. Downward spiral from White. Both men again back to their feet, and a jumping one as well. Wardlow again right back to his feet. Mr. Mayhem refuses to stay down. And his first round match with Max Caster was very good. It was better than White's match with Keita Murray, partially because White kind of toyed with Murray for the 14-minute runtime of that match, whereas Wardlow and Caster both put on a good show. Nice move there from White, but Wardlow too close to the ropes. I think, honestly, Wardlow may have White a little rattled here. Trading big shots to the head, back and forth. Big clothesline. And a discus lariat from Jay White. Both men down. But Wardlow again first to his feet. Fires off punches. White is down. Wardlow's stopping to catch his breath for just a second. Another flatliner from Jay White. Wardlow just picks him up on his shoulder and spine busters him down. And another big clothesline. And White again, to get out of it, just kicks him in the balls. Another flatliner. That actually kept Wardlow down for a second. And now Wardlow back on his feet, and a big clothesline. Pulls White to his feet. A series of shots to the midsection now. Another clothesline. The ropes. Jumping European uppercut from White, and another jumping flatliner. Elbow to the face from Wardlow. White now trying to wear him down with that side headlock. This is a strategy he has yet to try in this match. Doesn't really seem to be working, but honestly not much of anything is. Wardlow sends White into the corner, charging in with a clothesline. Go behind, sends him across the ring, and charging in with another clothesline, just squashing White in the corner. White now sends Wardlow in. Chops in the corner. White throws those brutal chops, those switchblade chops. Fireman's carry. Death Valley driver. But again, Wardlow first to his feet. Clubbing arm across the back. Wardlow taking a second to catch his breath. Off the ropes again, going for another clothesline. Yes. Off the ropes, White. The running forearm to the face. We passed the 20-minute mark. Oh, is he going for it? This might be it. The Blade Runner. White first his feet, but Wardlow right up after him. White unable to go for a pin. And here comes the powerbomb. No, backdrop out of it by White. Jay White trying to get the crowd into it. Off the ropes. Jumping forearm to the face. Wardlow to his feet. Now Wardlow going for a suplex. White might have been better off leaving him on the mat. Stopping to catch their breath. White going into the side headlock. I call these rest holds not necessarily derogatorily, but it does give both men gives White a chance to catch his breath while Wardlow is struggling to breathe in the headlock. 2, 3. Wardlow, the TNT champion, continues a dominant run, upsetting the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion Jay White. Here in round number 2, number 218 seed Wardlow. Second straight upset here. It's got to be making the higher seeds in our final 2 matches a little nervous. Jay White, Switchblade Jay White is out. I believe this is the second time in a row. I could be wrong. I'll need to check the stats on it. But I believe that's the second time in a row that the IWGP World Heavyweight Champion coming into their match in the 500 has been eliminated. Because Okada, I believe, had the title when he was knocked out in an earlier episode. So Wardlow will now face Weber Hatfield in round number 3. And folks, since I saw the bracket come together and I saw that this was a match that was going to happen, I have been so excited. Pro Wrestling 01 is not a promotion that gets a ton of attention here in the States. It's also not, it's probably the 4th biggest promotion in Japan. It's a big promotion. There are lots of big promotions in Japan. Wrestling is huge in Japan. But you will know this next wrestler because he is very famous in the States for a rivalry that, well, not to put it too indelicately, but literally only one of them is still standing. Let's head to the ring as we see Masato Tanaka take on Rey Mysterio. For some reason, PWI listed him as Rey Mysterio Jr., which is not a name he has used for many, many years. But yeah, here comes Masato Tanaka. 49-year-old, 28-year pro, hardcore legend. He is the 01 world champion, is Masato Tanaka. He also currently holds the Blast King tag team titles with Hide Kubota. Who could forget his classic matches in ECW with Mike Awesome, where the two of them just destroyed each other. And there's Rey Mysterio, 47 years old, 33-year pro, trained by the original Rey Mysterio, his uncle. One of the greats of all time. Mysterio beat Bateman in episode 13. Tanaka beat Daisuke Harada in that same episode. I mentioned 01. 01 is 4-0 in the 500, the only undefeated promotion that's had more than one match. It should be an interesting clash of styles. Tanaka, primarily a brawler and hardcore wrestler, he can work in all style, but Rey, even at age 47, is going to try to keep the pace up here, try to fly all over the ring, and take the fight to Tanaka that way, not letting Tanaka get his hands on him, because that is just a recipe for disaster. But yeah, Rey, a 33-year pro at only 47 years old. He started training when he was 14. He's an icon. We've been going through title histories for some of these guys. 6-time WCW World Cruiserweight Champion, 3-time WCW World Tag Team Champion, 2-time World Heavyweight Champion, 3-time WWA World Lightweight Champion, 3-time WWA World Welterweight Champion, 3-time WWE Cruiserweight Champion, 4-time Raw Tag Team Champion, 2-time United States Champion, 2-time Intercontinental Champion. He was WWE Champion for less than a day. He was SmackDown Tag Team Champion, WWA World Tag Team Champion, WWC Junior Heavyweight Champion, WCW Cruiserweight Tag Team Champion, the Crash Heavyweight Champion, Mexican National Welterweight Champion, Mexican National Trios Champion, Lucha Underground Trios Champion, DWW Champion, and former holder of our favorite title here at the 500, the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion. Which, if you have not been following DDT, I honestly I don't know how we're friends. DDT it's all of the fun parts of wrestling. There's also some really excellent wrestling on the shows, as evidenced by the American rise of Konosuke Takeshita, one of DDT's biggest stars. But the Iron Man Heavy Metalweight title, powerbomb by Masato Tanaka, stacks up Rey. Only a 1 count. We're less than 5 minutes in. I don't think anybody thought that was going to be the finish, except possibly Masato Tanaka. But the DDT Iron Man Heavy Metalweight Champion is basically Japan's answer to the 24/7 title, except the comedy is actually funny. Winner of this match is going to face MJF, by the way. In case you were wondering why we haven't talked about that match yet, because MJF won on last week's show. Rey to the top rope, going for that frog splash in memory of his great friend Eddie Guerrero. Misses. Tanaka coming off the ropes. Slams on the brakes when he sees Rey getting to his feet. Rey again going for a Rana. Tanaka again stacking him up with a power bomb. So this match is basically going how we expected. Rey taking to the sky, trying to get in as much offense as he can, without going toe-to-toe with Tanaka. And Tanaka taking every opportunity he can to try and ground Mysterio. Pointing to his feet there. Go behind, standing switch. Rey with a German suplex. Referee Paul Turner from AEW recognizing that Tanaka's in the ropes. Tanaka sending Rey off the ropes, trying to follow him in. Rey too fast, caught up with Tanaka. Gets sent to the floor, but he's right back in after a 2 count. Again, we're using the Japanese 20 count on the floor, which is why through 300 plus matches, we have had only 3 countouts the entire time. For a pile driver, possible power bomb. Yeah, Tanaka just stacks Rey up with that power bomb. 2 count only. Again, welcome to any new viewers just joining us. You can see the banner at the top of the screen. This is PWS, Pro Wrestling Simulated, the 500. It's our trademark show, our flagship. We took PWI's Pro Wrestling Illustrated PWI 500 list, a list of the 500 best wrestlers in the world. We turned it into a tournament bracket, and we're using Fire Pro to sim out all of the matches. We are closing in on the end of our second round. Mysterio dropping the dime with that leg drop. Pulls Tanaka away from the ropes. He knows he won't get a pin there, and that gives Tanaka time to recover. So we have the 500 best wrestlers in the world in the largest tournament in wrestling history. We have slowly but surely, through the course of 10 or 11 matches every episode, been removing wrestlers by eliminating them. This is our 33rd episode, the 9th of round 2. We'll have 3 more round 2 episodes over the coming weeks. Shows will be a little intermittent in late July, early August, just due to some travel conflicts we'll have. Hey, Jammin77, welcome back. Haven't seen you in a while. Of course, nobody's seen me in a while because we didn't do a show last week. Rey sends Tanaka through the floor. He's just playing to the crowd there. Elbows to the back of the head from Tanaka. So one of these two men will be moving on to face MJF in round 3. 1, 2. Victory roll variation there from Rey Mysterio gets only a 2 count from referee Paul Turner. So MJF awaits the winner of this match in round 3. The loser is out. It's a one-and-done tournament. There is no loser's bracket. There's no consolation matches. Tanaka getting ready for the rolling elbow. Oh, just a straight elbow to the face. I thought he was going to go for the roaring elbow. Did not. Coming off the ropes again, another elbow. Just a running clothesline. The back from Mysterio. As we mentioned before, there's Hide Kubota is not ringside in Tanaka's corner. Neither is Dominic Mysterio in Rey's corner. There are no seconds, no managers, no tag team partners. It's straight up one-on-one. May the best man or woman win. Rolling suplexes, the Three Amigos, another tribute to his great friend Eddie Guerrero. Mysterio just rolls through with a jackknife pin. 2.9. I thought that might have done it. I don't know that I've ever seen Rey win a match with Cazadora into the Bulldog. I don't know that I've ever seen him win a match with the Three Amigos. He's going for a code red. Yes, indeed. 1, 2.9. Did you order the code red? You're goddamn right I did. Tanaka sends Rey into the corner, charges in, goes for that elbow, but Rey moves. Frog splash across Tanaka's back. Unable to capitalize right away. Now pulling Tanaka to his feet. And Tanaka backdrops him hard. Now Tanaka to the top rope. Not something we see often. A frog splash of his own. Of the 5-star variety there from Masato Tanaka. Forearm chop. Forearm chop. Forearm chop. And discus lariat from Tanaka. Goes for the pin, does not hook a leg, but that doesn't matter. Masato Tanaka, number 154, has defeated number 103, Rey Mysterio. So Tanaka and MJF will meet in round number 3. So, another upset. 3 straight upsets going into the main event. It's got to be making Rich Swann nervous. Rich Swann, the number 10 overall seed in our tournament. He was, number 10 on the PWI 500 in 2021. There you go. To get all this entered into the running spreadsheet, I have results so that I can pull up results quickly. Masato Tanaka against MJF. Rich Swann, the number 10 seed in the tournament, in some danger here. The last 3 matches have been upsets. We also saw 3 upsets before our break. So that's 6 out of 10 matches thus far being won by the lower seed. The referee for this one, the man, the myth, the legend, Earl Hebner. Not necessarily known as a paragon of calling it right down the middle, shall we say. But he's been on his best behavior since this tournament started, possibly looking for a job in one of the major American or Japanese or Mexican or German promotions that we have all seen represented here. Swann, again, representing Impact Wrestling, will be facing All Elite Wrestling's John Silver, representing the Dark Order. So let's head to the ring. There's been enough talk. It is now time for the main event. Dralistico, who earlier on tonight beat Mike Outlaw, one of only 4 favored wrestlers. It's actually been a good night for Lucha Libre up until Mysterio's loss, because we saw Dralistico beat Mike Outlaw, Rey Fenix beat Avery Good, and El Hijo del Vikingo beat MVP. You can even, I guess, stretch that to El Lindemann beating the Great Mutah. Lindemann does wrestle sort of a hybrid lucha style, but not technically a luchador. But here comes Rich Swann, the number 10 seed. I don't foresee another top 10 finish for him. He has unfortunately kind of slid down the card since losing the Impact World title this year. But still one of the absolute best wrestlers in the world. He is the pretty heavy favorite here. John Silver defeated Max the Impaler way back in episode 13. And this is Rich Swann's first appearance in the 500. He did have a first round bye thus far through 8 episodes in round 2. Wrestlers who had a first round bye are 7-1. Of course, the only notable exception being the number 2 seed Roman Reigns was knocked out in his first match. The other 7 have all moved on. So this is the 4th time these two have met in the ring. The second time, actually it's the first time it's ever been straight up one-on-one. They have met in a 3-way that also included Swerve Strickland that Silver won. They've also that was at Combat Zone Wrestling's Cage of Death 20 event in 2018. And they have also met twice in PWS, the other one, not us, in a suicidal 6-way and an 8-way elimination scramble that both happened in 2012. And neither of them won either of those matches. So Swann is 0-3 against Silver. Silver is 1-2 against Swann. So Swann hoping to exercise a bit of a demon here in our main event. The former Impact Wrestling World Champion in there against John Silver representing the Dark Order, who, as cool a moment as it was, I love when -1 gets some screen time. I love that kid. But I don't know that needed a full segment on Dynamite. But it was good to see that even with Stu Grayson and Alan Angels leaving AEW, Evil Uno, John Silver, Alex Reynolds, Preston Vance all seem to still be on the same page. They still seem to have Hangman Page's back. Anytime QT Marshall gets beat up, I'm good with that. I am kidding. QT Marshall, also a trainee of AJ Gallant, who is one of my trainers at FXE. Shout out to FXE. I mentioned Jerry Lynn and Tom Latimer earlier in this episode. The whole gang at FXE is great. This episode was kind of thrown together last minute. I usually do these in the morning, but I think we might keep this Sunday evening time slot. I'm definitely more awake. I am definitely more caffeinated than I typically am, which is probably not great since it's 8:30 at night, and I do have work in the morning after having a 3-day weekend. Took Friday off. It was Malia's birthday. Turned the big 3-4. My birthday is coming up in 44 days, and I will be turning a number that rhymes with Schmorty. So if you feel like sending some wrestling-related stuff my way, I'm not going to say no. I found on Amazon there is a killer book. Somebody put together basically compiled it's published in like paperback form, but it's essentially a scrapbook of all of the booking sheets from Memphis from like 1993 to 94, I think, might be 92 to 93. But that would be a really fascinating, nice roll up there from Swann. Only a 2 count. Silver kicks out. Silver now sending Swann off the ropes. But yeah, I'm very excited for that. I also, while I was visiting my folks in Indiana, I'm gonna switch this to. Let me put myself in picture here. Hey, look at that. I'm like a AEW commercial break. So I found some cool stuff when I was going through my parents' storage room, just kind of helping them do a little house cleaning while I was visiting them. I found these, which I'm assuming came from WWF Magazine in probably around 95. It's got 96. They're Do Not Disturb, I Am Watching the World Wrestling Federation door hangers. One with the bad guy, Razor Ramon. One with Big Daddy Cool Diesel giving Owen Hart a big boot to the face. I also found my first wrestling souvenir, Bret Hart sunglasses. I was not the kid that he gave them to in the front row, but he did wrestle at the very first live show I ever went to, which was In Your House 3. He took on Jean-Pierre Lafitte. Tiger Feint Kick from Swann. So I bought these at the merch table at the Saginaw Civic Center from that show. Also found a bunch of my old wrestling figures that I knew I had, but didn't know where they were. Turns out they were in a bin in my parents' storage room. They're a little out of reach for me where I am currently, so we're going to drop a picture. But I did find some of my old Jakks Pacific and Hasbro figures that I had made kind of a memorial shelf in my childhood bedroom. When wrestlers would pass away, I would stop using them in matches with my other wrestling figures. So when I unpacked all of my wrestling figures here, when I was decorating my office after we moved into our house, I found almost everybody, but I couldn't find like Andre the Giant or Owen Hart or the British Bulldog or Rick Rude, Brian Pillman. Where are all of those figures? And it turns out that I guess the contents of that shelf got put in a different box when my parents moved. And so they were just missing for years. But I found them while I was helping them tidy up. And so I brought them back with me. And now they're all reunited with their plastic friends. Swann in control here as we pass the 13-minute mark with Johnny Hungy sending him to the floor. Swann can dive out after him. He is just a straight up plancha, nothing fancy. I mean, it's still fancy. That's a long way to the floor. Okite Yoburi. That lung blower power bomb from Swann using Silver's own move against him, but Silver gets out of it, drops into a headlock on the floor. It's actually a pretty smart strategy from Silver. If he can wear down Swann on the floor, he might not make it back by 20, but they do both make it back at about the 12 count. Silver again, number 247 in the PWI 500 this year. Swann, number 10, which was by far his peak. His previous high had been number 56 in 2017. Silver also having his best year at number 247. 2, 3, Swann wins it while I'm running through accolades. Rich Swann breaks the curse. It had 3 straight upsets. Rich Swann wins. Move on. The round of 128. John Silver, number 247 seed, goes down. Our first and only 100% quality match of the night. Phoenix Splash from Rich Swann is enough to put him over Johnny Hungy in our main event. So Rich Swann makes it 8-1 now for the first round buys, moving on to the third round. And that also means that Roman Reigns remains the only one to lose. So 11 matches down. We now know the following 6 third round matches that we didn't know before. We know Rey Fenix will face Atsushi Toge. We know El Hijo del Vikingo will face Darius Martin. We know El Lindemann will face Robbie Eagles. We know Wardlow will face Weber Hatfield. We know MJF will take on Masato Tanaka. And now, based on the results of our main event, Rich Swann will take on Dralistico. That is going to be a fun match as well, coming up here in a few weeks once we get into round 3. So episode 34, will be coming up next Sunday. I might do the evening again. I liked this evening time slot. Definitely seemed, I don't know, cleaner. Drop the. So next week's show, we have got number 3, Bobby Lashley, making his PWS debut, taking on Kid Lycos. Mei Suruga against Royce Chambers. Hiroshi Tanahashi, aforementioned by our friend Zach. Tanahashi will be taking on Rocky Romero in an all-new Japan showdown. Takashi Sugiura will be against Chessman. Chase Holiday against Aaron Henare. Black Taurus against Preston Vance. That is going to be a hard-hitting affair. Charlie Evans against Big Calix. Marius Al-Ani against Arrow Boy. Darby Allin and Sean Spears. Penta Oscuro against Jasi. And Ethan Allen against Dmitry Alexandrov. That is the card for next week's show. After that, we will have only 2 more shows in the second round, and we will see the PWS debuts of Jon Moxley on episode 35, and we will see Cody Rhodes' first PWS appearance in episode 36 before we start on round number 3. For those of you that have stuck with us since the beginning of the episode, thank you so much for doing so. A lot of fun as always. For those of you, this is your first time watching, I do typically have a co-host, Mike San Gregorio, who I wish all the best to. He is going through some family stuff. Like I said earlier in the episode, everything's fine. It's just something that requires a lot of attention, and so he is doing that. He will be joining us, when he can. In the meantime, for future episodes that I don't throw together at the last minute, I'm going to try to get some of my fellow trainees from FXE to join me to commentate some of this simulated action. Great stuff coming up over the next 3 weeks as we wrap up round 2. I mentioned Lashley's debut next week, along with Tanahashi and Romero, Sugiura, Chessman, Taurus, and Vance. Those three matches are all going to be great. Episode 35, in addition to having the Moxley debut, we'll have Chris Jericho against Matt Hardy, Jake Lee against Massey, and Jay Lethal against Dominic Mysterio. Episode 36, in addition to Cody Rhodes' debut, we'll also have Miro against Dak Draper and Eddie Edwards against Danhausen. So that is going to be a fun series of shows over the course of the next few weeks. Again, August will be a little dicey due to some travel plans. We've got some stuff with Malia's family at the beginning of the month. And then my birthday is on the 23rd of August. So that week will probably be a little dicey as well in terms of being able to get away and stream, because there will no doubt be family stuff going on then as well. But I will make sure that we talk about that stuff on the socials just to make sure everybody is aware of when the next shows will be happening, who will be on those shows. And again, I appreciate everybody that joined, even if it was just for a couple minutes. I appreciate you if you are watching the stream after the fact. I'm not sure how you found this, but I'm glad you did. Thank you so much for watching, and we will see you next week.